almost feel bad for that one. That was loud. Hey, what's going on, guys? Brandon here with Exotic Cars 19, making another video with the SVT Raptor. It's one that I had thought about as soon as I got the truck. I knew whatever my experience was with the Raptor, I was gonna make a 1-year update. I just can't believe the time has come already. As cliche as it is, yeah, the time went by, this last year went by really fast. But at the same time, I think to myself, you know, how was I getting by all the time without this truck? I mean, this is gonna sound like another Raptor commercial, but I really don't know how I got by without this truck as far as just the utility of it, and just, I don't know, it's just way too much fun. Like, no other vehicle I think can fill this void that this truck has, as we'll get into here. But let's just get into it. So yeah, 1 year later with the truck, how has it been? Well, in short, everything I thought it would be and more. However, let's talk about some of the little nuances and little experiences here and there that had happened while having this truck. Let's start from the very beginning. I bought the truck early July. So right when I got it, I was kind of, you know, more or less just getting used to it, getting used to having such a larger vehicle, because I was coming from only owning sports cars prior to this, notably the GT350, which I still have. That was my daily, so that's what I got so used to, the ride height of it, everything about it. So I got into this, it felt like a big vehicle. Now it feels normal, obviously. But I was just kind of, you know, pussyfooting it around, taking the family around, doing all the grocery getting, because I just thought it was so cool that I bought a truck now. I wanted that 2014 Raptor because it was the last of the 6.2 liter V8. If you guys have seen my other videos, I sound like a broken record. But that 6.2 liter V8 doesn't really sound good, I would say, from the factory. It's quite choked up. It doesn't really breathe too well. So I was doing a lot of research on YouTube, a lot of Borla exhaust out there, a lot of this and that. But I ended up landing with the Corsa Extreme. Very glad I did. No resonator, so very, very loud. Sounds very good. It just introduces this new level of rasp, especially at the top end, in between shifts or whatever, wide open throttle. It is an absolute animal, and everybody within a couple mile radius will hear you. So be mindful of that, or don't. Let me mention this. I bought the truck a year ago with 57,000 miles. 1 year later, we have got 75,000. I never considered myself a high mileage driver. My BRZ and the 350 were pretty low. I don't have the BRZ anymore, but when I had it for enough time to put miles on it, and really the miles really never racked up. But the GT350 also didn't really get a whole lot of miles. However, when I got the truck, I don't know what happened. Yeah, 18,000 miles in 1 year. How were those 18,000 miles? Well, the first time I went off-roading was within the first 500 miles, I think, of having the truck. And that's when I had my biggest problem so far with the truck, and it has been resolved, obviously. But yeah, so I was so eager to go off-roading. I bought a Raptor. I'm like, I just want to see what this thing can do off-road. So I went out there, made the video actually on, I bought an SVT Raptor, and I didn't mention it in that video for some reason, just because I didn't know what to do at that point. But, what I had done is started doing donuts right away, and I did them incorrectly with this truck. And I mean that because the Gen 1 has hydraulic steering. And so I went full lock. I stopped the truck, went full lock, did some donuts, and the hydraulic pump had failed at, you know, nearly 60,000 miles. It finally went away, or failed, and it's never been replaced before that. So, you know, it had some mileage on it, and I was quite abusive on it for that video. So it failed, so my steering became super heavy. I was getting quite an arm exercise on the drive limping to the dealership. So because I just bought it, I told them, like, look, this has failed me. But they're like, oh, you didn't get the extended warranty. I'm like, yeah, I realized that, but come on, I just got it, yada yada. They said, you know what, that's normally like about a $700-ish repair. They said, we'll do it for you because you just got it. Okay, you haven't even made your first payment on it, we got you. And I'm like, thank you. They didn't know what I was up to. But anyway, I learned from that. You can slide the tail out on these, but you just don't go at full lock on the steering with the hydraulic pump. Now I know. Anyway, so yeah, that was the biggest problem I've had in my 18,000 miles within my first year, was the hydraulic pump, and I didn't have to pay for it, thankfully. But if I did, that would have been about $700. So in my 18,000 miles, that also includes 2 oil changes at just under $100 for that service at the Ford dealership for full synthetic. I'm due for my next service in a couple months here. And when I do that, because of the mileage now, that's kind of the routine time to change all the spark plugs. That should be about a $550 to $650 service at the dealership. So that's another expense to come in. So without realizing it, I'm kind of going over all the expenses of my first year with it first. Let's do that, and then we'll just talk about how much I love it and how much fun it's been. So what else? Other than insurance, which is going to vary for everyone and all that kind of stuff, I won't touch on that too much. Let's talk about gas though. In my 18,000 miles, it was combined with a lot of different kinds of driving. Only recently I started doing a lot of like highway driving to different cities here in Texas, so that's a lot of just straight shot highway stuff. So my fuel economy started getting a little bit better recently, but you know, no sugarcoating it. 18,000 miles, I'm averaging 12.5 miles to the gallon. Take that for what you will. Yeah, so it drinks gas quite a bit, but you know, it's miles per gallon. And 18,000 miles at 12.5. Locally, the gas prices are averaging about $3.05. So I'm a bit, what is that, 40, I think I did the math earlier, I think it was like $4,300 or whatever in the last year. A little over $300, just under $400 actually per month on fuel. That's just because I, for some reason, just chose to just drive this truck so much. Even when I didn't need to, I just drove the truck. If I just want to go off-roading, I just drive the truck where I could go off-roading. So I drive it for my A to A and my A to B car, and that's why the Shelby has been getting quite little drive time recently. But whenever I do get back into that car, as I mentioned in previous videos, there's like this new love for that car because I got so used to this. But yeah, that's all the expenses. If you get this truck, you will be glad you did, because you're going to get a truck that's not going to depreciate too much. But a lot of that will be taken into account for, and pendulum swings both ways because you will be spending a lot on gas. All right, that's the expenses and everything out of the way. Let's go back to the timeline of what I did to this truck. So yeah, a year ago I bought the truck. After 1 month, I said I want some more noise, so I got the Course Extreme exhaust. And at that same time, I got my decals installed. I actually bought, this is where I'm just absolutely ridiculous. I bought the decals before I bought the truck. The American flag decals where it says Raptor. I got them on Amazon. I just checked, they don't sell them anymore for some reason, but they were Ford OEM 3M decals. I love them. It's got the stars and stripes and says Raptor on them. I love that on this terrain color with a Gen 1. I'm biased obviously, but I love the way this truck kind of came together. But yeah, I actually bought those for about 70 bucks before I committed to buying this truck. I just knew I wanted a Gen 1 Raptor, so I figured by buying $70 decals, I would be pressured to buy a $44,000 truck. That's just where I get a little ridiculous, but it worked. But yeah, so got that installed after a month, and then I thought that's how I like my truck. I think it looks good. My buddy paint corrected it, ceramicked it. I was happy with it, and thought I was pretty good. And then, what was it, 6.5 months later, I went ahead and said, well, my truck is exhaling okay, but let's make it inhale okay. So we did a K&N cold air intake. My buddy installed that as well. And so that actually adds, I think it was 20 horsepower, so I'm gonna assume that's not wheel horsepower. But I will say it definitely flattened the torque curve. Linear throttle response all the way through now, and it does kind of sound cool. It kind of has like this high-pitched whistling sound on the inhale where the cold air intake is. So it's just breathing better, which is going to help the truck in the long run already on a 6.2 liter super reliable engine. I mean, even though 75,000 miles, that seems old for me, because before this truck, I've only owned new cars. So when I see 75,000 miles there, I'm like, holy crap, this thing's getting old. But I know this truck can take it, so I look forward to owning it for a very long time and keeping you guys up to date on what you can expect for having a truck like this on a long-term basis. But it's been 1 year, 18,000 miles, and that's about it. That's all I've done to it. That's all I've experienced as far as expenses and everything. That's about it. I knew the Raptor was going to be good daily driving, other than the fuel economy, Everyone said it rides like it's on a cloud. Totally true. The seats are so comfortable. In my opinion, a little bit more comfortable than the Gen 2 seats. For some reason, I don't know, it just feels like a lazy boy. They just feel so good. Other than that, got plenty of room between me and my passenger. The back down there, the 6-foot tailgate, I'm able to put, or the bed anyway, I'm able to put dirt bikes there, bunch of stuff. Stuff fits under the seats, everything. What else? The sound system's good. It's a 2014, so it's actually still fairly recent. This display, I forgot what they call it, I forgot. Whatever it is, it's super intuitive, connects to my phone super quickly. The sound system, this one came with the Bose sound system. It's very good, in my opinion. I could go on and on with the daily drivable stuff and why it's a great daily. Let's get past that, because I already knew it was gonna be such a great daily before I bought it. Where it surprised me was I also knew it was gonna be a great off-roader. I didn't realize it was gonna be this good. It just surprises me that Ford thought it was a good idea, and it ended up being a great idea, that they could sell a truck like this that's ready to do some like desert runner stuff with the warranty. I think that's pretty cool. Why has it been so great off-roading? My kind of style of off-roading I got stuck on a couple occasions where I had to flip it to 4-wheel drive and it pulled me out, so that's great. Other than that, most often I'll just go ahead and turn all traction control off, keep it in rear-wheel drive, and just hammer it down on some dirt and get the tail to slip out. It is just too much fun, and it just seems like I'm driving something that's not street legal at that time, because when I was younger I had a lot of time on like Polaris RZRs and such, so I'm so used to just driving stuff on dirt and just having fun. That gives me the same thrill on something that I can drive to the grocery store in quiet if I wanted to. But it's kind of like putting playing cards in your bicycle spokes. As soon as you do something with the cold air intake and the exhaust, make it just breathe better, it just makes all this kind of noise, and you just feel good driving this thing off road or on road, and just, you know, pissing a lot of people off. It's worth it. With all that said, I think that kind of covers whatever I wanted to talk about. As far as future though, I don't know. I kind of thought I was done right after the exhaust, and then I ended up doing the cold air intake, which is not much else. But where it sits now, I'm just so happy with it, and there's nothing like that I could just pinpoint that I want next for this truck. If there was, I would probably already be in the works to doing it. I mean, I have a couple ideas here and there, most of them are cosmetic. I would love a chase rack just so I can have, and this is functional too actually, I wouldn't necessarily use it to put spares, but I like the look of it, and I could put a swiveling light bar on there, and also some rearward facing rigid lights or some Baja designs. That's always been something on, you know, in the top of my head, but you know, it's about, I think with all the lights and everything all squared away, I'll be just under $5,000. The ratio of that $5,000 on a like $44,000 truck, that seems a little odd, but hey, if it's worth it for what I think about how it looks and how it performs, then great. Also, I'll get some use out of my 4 auxiliary switches here doing nothing. But you know, $5,000 is no small chunk of change. But other than that, I really don't know what else there is. Like, there's not these pinpoint things. There's no supercharger. I want to keep it naturally aspirated because that's what I like about this year. There's really nothing I want to do. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, then let me know. But I think it'll be kind of hard to convince me otherwise. But yeah, I've certainly been enjoying my time with it. I look forward to keeping you guys up to date. I think now that it's at 75,000 miles, I need to make myself feel better about high mileage. Every mile from here just give me a bragging right. I want to own this truck when it's in the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles and just never give it up. If I could just own it throughout that whole time, I'd be pretty happy. And just to own a Gen 1 with some high mileage, I think it would be pretty cool. With all that said, should just about do it for this video. If you guys have any ideas and videos that you guys want to see with this truck independently, let me know. I'm pretty much a fan run YouTube channel, so if you guys have any ideas, we'll do it. One that I do want to do, I've been meaning to do for a while, is I do point of view drives every now and then. I don't know why I haven't done one with this truck. I think I inserted some point of view drive clips here and there, but a full-on point of view drive on road with some underpasses and all that fun stuff, but also off-road, you know, doing some donuts, some skids, all that cool stuff as well. We will do a point of view drive on that. So that'll be in the works here pretty soon. You guys should expect that in the next couple weeks. Other than that, though, if you guys have any ideas, just let me know. But until then, see you guys on the next one.